All right, been a long day. It's about 8 o'clock. I wish I could say this was my last call, but it's the next to last. And that Goodman package unit right over there apparently does not know how to behave. So I'm gonna go over here and open it up and see what's going on with it. This is a unit that I tried to tell this owner, this is a rental house, I tried to tell this owner we need to throw this thing away, but we put a compressor in it and it was out of warranty, unregistered. It's 410A unit, and I don't think I see this sticker. I think that was the sticker. Here it is. So, from 2010. I personally would not have put the compressor in it if it were me, but there again, it's easy for us to say buy a new one whenever we don't have to pay for it. So let's open it up and hope for something simple. Okay, when I opened it, the fan started, which was not running, and I saw a little sparkle of light right there, and I'm seeing some burned wires. I don't know that green wire right there is, I think that's low voltage. And look at that contactor. Phew. A little bit jacked up. The jacket burned off of that high voltage wire, which is coming in. So I would say that would definitely have something to do with this thing not operating correctly. Now, it's got two incoming power wires. This is just what runs the compressor, and obviously this goes down to the heat strips. This is a heat pump. So hopefully if we fix that, check the capacitor, might be able to get her some air fired back up. So let's kill this power. This one. That hurt. Let's kill this power. And see. That's not good. But it does not look like it melted through it. This needs to not be routed that way. So we're gonna bring that over this way to fix it here. Now, yeah, that'll possibly make a difference right there. So, let's get another contactor. See what we can do here. All right. Laugh at my polka dots if you want to. But it sure is nice to sit right here and not be kneeling. Now, say what you want about an old Goodman, and I sure bash on them a lot. but they are easy to work on. That is for sure. And I have brought my handy dandy bag of wires that we save when we strip out of, you know, heat strips, heat pumps, etc., so that we can replace some of these that are bad looking. And like this wire right here, in my opinion, should be black, just simply because it's easier to keep up with if all the black ones are on one side and the red ones are on the other. So, and that is pretty much the way it is. And over here, commons, they're blue. So we'll peel those out of the way. And this low voltage to the contactor is red for whatever reason. It's coming from this board down here. Not sure why that is, but it is. And the bottom is already got black on one side and red on the other, so we don't have to spend any time at all tracing back what is what. And we may try to beef some of this up if there's any way to feasibly make some of it a little stronger, just meaning bigger wires and some of these little jumpers that run around from one place to another. Boy, that thing had a hard life, didn't it? Look at that. Whew. So I wonder if it just had a crappy connection, or if this compressor is drawing a little more than it should be. And if any of these are not good and tight, you really should replace them, because the looser the connection, the more heat it creates, obviously. And when it creates heat, it draws more amperage, it overamps, it punishes the component. It's just nothing good that comes from a poor connection. Some of you may have seen that video of mine on the crawl space fire, which I promise you that was all from poor connection. So these all feel really good. That's why I'm wondering if that incoming power wire was just loose or what. So what we'll do is we'll fire this thing up if it fires back up. Let's hope everything does. And when it all fires back up, we will take some amp draw readings and see if there's anything that gives us any telltale signs that this crap might happen again. Okay, so the contactor is changed. That was pretty easy. And this is that wire that I replaced with the black one. It was red. And now I'm going to route this has thinned it out a little bit, but has not melted through, so we may tape that up a little bit, but I'm just going to try to route it different if possible and see if I can tag it to that or something to keep it away from this area. Okay, so the black one will be easy enough to just put right back where it was. And you hear that noise when it's tightening. I like to make it do that 2 or 3 times. These connections are all really good where they're coming from, so just get rid of the bad and try to bring in the good. And one thing on these cheap contactors is this right here will turn on you and bend right there. I mean, these things are cheap. I'm gonna try to hold a little bit of backup against that when I crank it, but it could just be me thrilling myself with my imagination. Now that we got that done, I'm going to unwire this capacitor. That's the hermetic, and the fan. And the 2 commons are red. So let's just test it. And just be sure that we've got the value, or within range of value, from this capacitor. So I'm going to go from common to the hermetic, and that is 40.6. I don't like that much. Let's go from common to fan, and that's 4.64, which I think is fine, but because of the 40.6, we are going to reject our endorsement of this 45 by 5 cap Capacitor. And Anuhi and Hui Tongifig Electronics Company Limited. No PCBs protected. For whatever reason, I do not see made in whatever on this. And that sticker right there looks to me to be a factory part, but there again, what do I know about Goodman? So let's go get a 45x5 USA. Okay, so this is what we've got. We've got the AMRAD USA made, which probably says assembled in USA with global materials. Now I don't see that on there, but it's probably something like what we're looking at here. But so what I'm gonna do, stick this one back in there, and then of course we're gonna check it to see what it's giving us. And I did not have any of the little green jacketed Trade Pros in a 45 anymore. And I've been scattering these USA made ones out, just using different ones. Maybe a year or two from now, I'll see some of them again and figure out what's doing what. I know those cheap Trade Pro China ones, I was seeing those again way too often. All right, so let's go to common and hermetic first. And we have 45.6, and then let's go to common and fan. And we have 5.04. So that one is fully in range at this time anyway. So let's hook it back up. Put the yellow hermetic. And you know what? That brings up a good point here. Is I am not a Goodman fan, but from what I have seen in recent years, since Yark became the victim of Johnson Controls, I do believe that Yark has taken over the bottom position of junkiest of the junk, because they are scattering out their dadgum, what do you call them things? Micro channels. I'm gonna go get a zip tie for that. Maybe a little piece of tape right there, but I think that's okay. Stick a piece of tape over it. zip tie this away from all that, and then we're going to fire this thing up. All right, I just tied that to the other low voltage wires there to keep it out of this noise again. Got our AMRAD in place and mounted. And I've looked it over. I don't see any other wires that, you know, that I don't like. So we're gonna fire this thing up, I hope. No easy button to push on this one. So we're gonna have to get her to turn the thermostat on. But let's plug it in and see what we get. All right, well, just like before, the blower is on, fan is on, so I hope what we are experiencing here is 5-minute delay. A little bit of ugliness on that board. So let's hope she kicks in a minute. Start putting up a few things, throwing away a little trash. Hopefully she cranks up. All right, I was just about to go make sure she had selected everything correctly on the thermostat, and I heard the compressor come off of delay and kick in. Looks like the Goodman is. So let's see what some of this is doing. All right, so to help us there while we were buttoning everything up, and so really didn't want to film anymore. She was constantly talking to me. Real nice lady, but quite perky, you might say. And of course I had to listen to the stories of how you know, they worked in that mill when they were for daddy when she was a little girl, and this and that, and been here forever. Look at those big old chiller cooling towers over there. And they bricked in all the windows way back. You know, those used to be windows because of course there was no air in the factory back in the 40s and 50s. Mill side of town here. So anyway, also she explained to me how lucky the landlord is that I came today and fixed it, because she was going to go to a motel and give him the bill. So I'll be sure not to tell him that and rile him up or anything, but she seemed pretty serious. She wasn't going to sleep in an 87-degree house again tonight like she did last night. So anyway, I'm just glad there wasn't any catastrophic failure there and we were able to get that fixed. Took a little bit, but we're out of there. So I guess I was there about maybe 50 minutes to an hour. Probably could have been out of there 10 minutes quicker had I not had her help for the last little bit there. But I have no idea why it happened. It had to be some poor connections. I went through everything, but all the amp draws were really good. Everything was fine. So on we go to the next one. We got one more. It is 8:55. Starting to get tired. Thanks for watching.